It's time for the Diamond K Show. Sometimes controversial, but always authentic. The Diamond K Show is a music insider's view into the world of business and entertainment. Hosted by writer, director, and music entrepreneur, yours truly, Diamond K. Let's get it started. Hola, people. Hola. Yours truly, Diamond K. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you for listening to the Diamond K Show. And you can check me out daily right here on ustreamradio.com. Do me a favor. Grab my book on Amazon.com. It's called You Are Not the Father. It is my story and is available in paperback, digital, and audio versions. So go there, grab that. Check out the first couple chapters. You can do that right there. You Are Not the Father. Leave a comment and definitely spread the word. My book by yours truly, Diamond K. Dwayne Diamond K. Williams. You Are Not the Father. Now, with that being said, I want to take a moment to also recognize our various internet partners where you can hear the Diamond K Show. Stitcher Radio, also on iTunes, Libsyn, YouTube, and blogtalkradio.com. If you would like to bring the Diamond K Show to your website, just send an email to interviews@ustreamradio.com and let's talk some business. Now that I've got all of that out of the way, the debate over A&E's Duck Dynasty and the comments made in a GQ interview by one of its stars, Phil Robertson, continues to rage on. While Robertson sits out the future filming, the rest of the Robertson clan questions whether they will film the show without him. So that's a strong statement there. And also, the several of the sponsors are standing by him as well. He was suspended from the show Duck Dynasty after expressing controversial views on homosexuals, civil rights, and in a recent magazine interview. And the heavy bearded guy is a member of the Church of Christ, and he's been a frequent speaker and a preacher around the country, especially since gaining fame from the highest rated nonfiction series in cable TV history. That's deep right there. Anyone who takes the time to watch the videos will find plenty of things to discuss and debate. Today here on the Diamond K Show, I'm going to talk about some of these things. And, you know, I believe in freedom of speech. I believe that, you know, someone can say what they want to say. But I want to be clear with this. Let's look at what he said, some of the things that he said, and you know, and I gotta be delicate with this. So just give me a minute. If you speak about something, we're talking about homosexuality. If you don't approve of homosexuality, I don't think that you voicing that you don't approve of it makes you homophobic. I don't think that the comments make it homophobic. You don't have to approve of something. You don't have to agree with everything. And if you don't agree with it, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're homophobic or you're gay bashing. If you say, I don't like that. I mean, that you can say that. So I think that one, society is too sensitive. Okay. Now there's a fine line here, and I know I'm walking on it, but let me read you this quote. Okay. The Duck Dynasty star Phil Robertson said this: "Women with women, men with men, they committed indecent acts with one another, and they received themselves the due penalty for their perversion. They're full of murder, envy, strife, and hatred. They are insolent arrogant God haters. They are heartless. They are faithless. They are senseless. They are ruthless. They invent ways of doing evil. All right, now, he said this in 2010 at the Wild Game Supper in Pennsylvania. Now, you know, that I mean, what is really wrong with that? I mean, it's a little extreme. He's against homosexuality. Okay, some people are, some people aren't. I myself don't care. I mean, whatever somebody wants to do, they can do. I have people in my family who are against it. I have people in my family who are gay. And I think there's probably a gay person in everybody's family. There's a fiend in every family as well. But you know, let's get into another quote. He also said, why do they murder and why do they hate us? Because all of them, 80 years of history, they all want to conquer the world. They all rejected Jesus, and they're all famous for murder. Nazis, communists, Mohammedists, every one of them the same way. All right. And he said this in 2008 at the Church of Christ in Arkansas. Now, here's what he had to say about the first man. Okay. From one man, God made all nations of men. We all came from the same dude, and I don't know what color he is. Okay. And he said that at the Saddlebrook Church in California in July of 2013. This is pretty controversial. I mean, the other things that I quoted from him, Phil Robertson, is also controversial. He said this: a good woman is hard to find, mainly because these boys are waiting until they get about 20 years old before they marry them. Look, you wait until they get to be about 20 years old, then the only picking that's going on is in your pocket. You got to marry these girls when they're 15 or 16. They'll pick your ducks. You'll need to check with mom and dad about that, of course. He said that here in Georgia in 2009 at a sportsman's ministry. And last quote he said in Texas, he said this: I'm no preacher. Know how you can tell? This is free. Now, if I pass a hat around, you can say he's a preacher. And he said that in Texas in 2012. So anybody who watches the show, I've recently started seeing clips of the show. He's very outspoken and very, very arrogant. He's the star of the show. If they decide to cancel the show, the cast leaves or whatever, they can go somewhere else and do some other type of a show easily. I think that their faces alone, of course, they wouldn't be able to call it Duck Dynasty. I don't think that that's a big issue. You know, so, I mean, are his comments and the other comments that he made in the magazine interview, are they so much so that he should be taken off the show? I don't think so. If he doesn't agree with homosexuality, that's his business. And if you agree with it, that's your business. And if you voice approval of it or disapproval of it, I mean, you know, I think that he's going to, it seems like he's trying to say that these comments are religious based, and they seem to be, he seems to be a religious person. I'm not sure. I do know that if he was a black man, though, he'd definitely be out of there. But, I mean, you know, the comments don't offend me. Now, he looks like somebody, he looks like someone that could be rolling with the, you know, the racist type, but I don't know if he's a racist. I don't even know, you know, you don't really know anyone's heart. I mean, really, at the end of the day, this is a white trash, redneck, in the hills type of down south person. So, of course, his views on things are going to be messed up. I mean, and, you know, he's entitled to have his own views. I mean, when you talk about the things that he said as it relates to um, that article, that he, the interview that he had rather, he said some things that, of course, I don't agree with, and let me say that. Um, the things that he said about the Jim Crow law. I mean, I can't really say that those things offend me because these are the views of a lot of redneck, backwoods, white trash type of people. So, I mean, that's his thoughts. Those are his opinions. I'm not offended by that. I don't really care what he thinks, and neither should you. Um, but these are his views. I have my own views. Our listeners, you have your views. Everybody has their own views. So, but just so you know, some of the quotes that he says that he never saw black people mistreated during the pre-civil rights era in his home state, and he strongly suggested that African Americans were more content under Jim Crow. Let me say this: that's not true. We were not more content under Jim Crow. In my opinion. Now, he also went on to say that we lived as farmers. The blacks worked for the farmers. I hoed cotton with them. I'm with the blacks because we're white trash, he said. They're singing and happy. I've never heard one black person say, I tell you what, those doggone white people, not a word. Pre-entitlement, pre-welfare, you say, were they happy? They were godly. They were happy. No one was singing the blues. I mean, that's his opinion. So he's saying that he worked alongside of black people, working for the farmers, and they were all happy to have jobs. Basically, is what he was saying, or something like that. I mean, I don't see anything too offensive about that. And I'm not one wearing my emotions on my sleeve. I mean, a white person, a Spanish person, a black person, you ask them their thoughts on different races, and they're going to give you 3 different views. And some of them you may like, and some of them you may not like. That's life. Let's stop being so sensitive, people. Let's stop wearing our emotions on our sleeves. And as I said earlier, you're not going to stop his money. They have a very popular show. Go get this money as long as you can get it. Dog the Bounty Hunter said a lot of things that I don't agree with and a lot of people don't like. Okay, they fired him. He came back. He was on for a while. Then the show was over. All right. So, that's how I feel about that. Thank you for listening, tuning in, logging on. Ustreamradio.com. Yours truly, Diamond K. On social media at The Diamond K Show, Twitter, Instagram, at The Diamond K Show, on Facebook. DJ Diamond K, hit me up. I'll see you guys tomorrow.